PATV now, yeah. Welcome to Tom's Guitar Show. I'm Tom. This is my show about guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. So here's the deal. Well, you know, in the old days, it was a call-in show. And people call in, you know, the phone we had over there, and they'd say things, ask these questions, like say, hey man, what's your show about? And so that's about an hour, about guitar players, guitar playing, all things guitaristic. So in those days, the drill was that, you know, we could answer questions about the care and feeding of your guitar, what kind of guitar is right for you, how to play the guitar, related topics like the guitarrón, the guitarra, sitar, lutes, uds, vihuelas, banjos, balalaikas, bazookas, bajos, sextos, tiples, cavaquinhos, bandurrias, bandolas, bandolims, mandolins, mandocellos, you know, I don't know, man. I mean, I can go on and on. And I've got the trombones and trombomarinas and cornholts and quartholts and cornetos and sack butts and saxophones and I don't know, man, timbales and timpani and I don't know. Here we got one for you, Miss Bob. There.
French horns, flugelhorns, and kazoos.
There you go. Yeah, anything that musical like that's fine. Yeah, we have harpsichords and harmoniums, harmonicas.
Pixie harps, Irish harps, and Jews harps.
There we go. Yeah. I said pianos. We don't care about pianos.
A, B flat, and C clarinets.
A, B flat, C clarinets. Yeah. Somebody was telling me that they had a C clarinet that they inherited from a relative. They didn't know what to do with it. I forget who that was.
And some of my readings, the C clarinet is more military.
Come on over to the microphone.
I will.
Okay, later. We'll talk about C clarinets. Mr. Skobinski is going to do a report about why clarinets and saxophones and trumpets and things are in like keys like B flat and E flat, which cause transposing issues for us guitar players. But anyway, sorry, I've already started yawning. Okay. Anything musical is fine. We talk about that stuff. We deal with that. Politics, world events, people's personality problems. But we try to keep it clean. This is a family program. All right. So this here is a Reverend Air Sonic. I haven't had it very long. I have had it on the show. I have two of these. I'm in hock for a long time, by the way. I may have this this desire to buy more guitars, called GAS, guitar acquisition syndrome, but it might be a while. Actually, I might sell a couple things, but anyway, clear my massive crippling debt. But anyway, I got this pro shop, Musicians Pro Shop's a Reverend dealer, and they can't seem to keep these. They've had 3 of these, and they're all 3 sold. 2 of them to me, and 1 to a guy who worked there. But I mean, these are, so I've had this on the show before, but the thing about this is that the F-hole, see that, It goes, it's a see-through guitar. So I can say, like, hello everybody, I can see you. Anyway, actually I can't see you because TV's like a one-way thing, at least for now, or at least as far as I know.
Well, at least as far as we want to let the audience know.
Yeah.
We're really not watching you.
Yeah, we're not watching you. Okay, but anyway, so this is a solid body guitar with the F-holes going all the way through, which I thought was silly, but actually there's a certain fullness this guitar seems to have that most solid bodies don't. So it's supposed to sound more like a semi-hollow. That sort of Gibson ES-335 kind of classic guitars, which, as you may know, are not true hollow bodies in that they have a chunk of wood going through the top, and they have wings which are hollow, and they have F-holes in those, but the chunk going through the top is solid all the way through. This has a big chunk of wood in the top going all the way down. It's thicker in the middle, and in the back also there's a big piece of wood here, and and then these wings here are thinner, and they have holes in them, F-holes, and or sort of like cat's eyes, but you get the idea. They call it cat's eye holes, and so it does have a fuller sound. And so for those of you who there are these guitar demos that people have on YouTube a lot, and I've been thinking about doing them, but this one is a sort of I mean, okay, this guitar is a rocker, but most people play certain kinds of really distorted rock on it, and I tend to like to play clean. I seldom use a fuzz, like a big muff or something, which I have, or an overdrive. On this amp, I have a Blues Junior over here, a Fender Blues Junior. It's a little tube amp. I could turn up the gain all the way and turn down the volume, and it would be distorted, overdriven. And what I have is the gain down really low, and then the volume turned up almost halfway. We're indoors here. I mean, we're in this TV studio. It doesn't have to be that loud. I get this kind of sound. And I play this through different amplifiers, and it's actually kind of cool. No, it's way cool. This is a very interesting guitar as far as its sort of fullness. That's the neck pickup with the tone turned down just a little bit, like a. Turn that up. Now there's a knob up here which is the bass roll off, so I can turn this down and get. As opposed to. So earlier I was going. I hadn't done anything to the amp. What I did is I switched to the bridge position, and I rolled off the bass all the way, and and this is all, everything's turned up here. I think this one doesn't have a coil tap. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I knew that. There's a coil tap, and then there's a coil splitter, and a coil tap means you take some of the windings out of it, and a coil splitter means you take a humbucker double coil like this and just turn one of them off, so you get a single coil. This doesn't have that. I'm sorry. I have that in several. My looper, I'll see I'm just gonna make something up. If it's lousy, I'll just erase it. Somebody called my show, well, back in the old days when it was a call-in show, and he was talking about fingerstyle. My head is, I'm losing some headspace here. Is that the monitor, or am I just, I mean, I was just looking at myself. I was like I'm,
Short haircut.
yeah. Is that just the monitor, or is it that high? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, there. Now you can see my head. Well, you don't want to see my head, you want to see the top of my hat. Anyway, so somebody called the show years and years ago when it was a call-in show, and they said, well, I like finger picking, but it's okay, but I'd rather strum. And you know, as it gets finger style, because the whole thing is whether you should use a pick or do finger style. And of course, my attitude is why not do both and switching back and forth, whatever you want. If you think of a good reason to use a pick, then go for it. And if you don't, then use your fingers. But the thing about finger style is that you have a whole bunch of strums. You know, people strum things with their fingers all the time. But then instead of having one pick, you have five. Now I have these fake nails. I went to V's Nails, or the nail salon today, and had new nails made for myself. I haven't perhaps buffed them up quite well enough yet. I was kind of taking the edges. They do a good job, but I always kind of like smooth them with a 600 grit sandpaper. I can either get my nail buffing materials at the cosmetics aisle of the grocery store, or I can get them at the hardware store. And a lot of problems I have in my life have a hardware store solution. I'm well known at the Ace Hardware, which is a couple blocks from where I live, but they know me well there. I've actually gigged. I played gigs at the. I don't know, there's like a dog food, dog biscuit demo thing where they set up a bunch of tables, and the dogs are invited to go to the hardware store with their humans, of course, and they give them samples of dog biscuits and dog food and things, and these various vendors of these things, and of course I play. So I play for the dogs. I played for a lot of dogs. So anyway, here we go. Where was I? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, I need to
Finger style and strumming.
yeah, I need to file this nail before. But anyway, okay. So when I was going like, I'm bouncing off the back of my nail. So my finger's kind of flat. You know, my fingers are kind of curved around this, so they're flat. This doesn't require long nails. All this I'm doing here is I'm bouncing off the back of my fingernails. And that's an old frailing banjo technique where you strum like, and so I got that, and I can also strum with a lot of flesh on my thumb here, this joint. I can go down with the flesh and up with the front thumbnail. Or I can go down with the thumbnail. I can go up with the thumbnail like this and go down with the fingers because I have the opposable thumb. This is basically, there's claw hammer, there's frailing, and I'll let the banjo police argue over which is which, and the subtle differences. Some people say, I used to read books about this back in the olden days, but now I go on the internet and read commentaries about this. And one thing I want to know is, just as a banjoist, because I play the banjo too. Of course, you know, a gentleman is someone who knows how to play the banjo, but
Chooses not to.
right, okay. Anyway, but and what did the banjo player get on his IQ test?
Barbecue sauce.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So anyway, but. Frailing and claw hammer. A claw hammer, I think, is because it looks like you're holding a hammer like this or something, and down the fingers and up your, but like that. And frailing is similar. I read a book about frailing and saw these hand-drawn cartoon diagrams of how to do it and stuff, and had songs to play out of it. It was a very organic-looking book made on this kind of vanilla-colored paper, this kind of softer, different kind of paper than usual, and a very rustic and a lot of hand-drawn stuff in it. And I studied this book, and I attempted to do frailing many years ago. And then I realized that although I was not necessarily an aficionado of hee-haw, and for those of you who are aficionados of hee-haw, that means somebody who really likes it a lot and follows it closely. But
Believes in picking and grinning.
yeah, well, I'm picking, I'm grinning. Anyway, I didn't watch a lot of hee-haw, but Grandpa Jones and String Bean were both on that show quite a bit. Basically, kind of clowns, actually. Because that was how the banjo had to be in the old days. You had to be a clown to play the banjo. I mean, you didn't see a lot of, Earl Scruggs would be serious about it, but a lot of the banjo, especially the old-time banjo, because the thing about like Grandpa Jones was that he became Grandpa Jones and he was still in his 20s. He put flour in his hair and got little granny glasses and wore suspenders and looked like something from his grandpa's era in the backwoods somewhere. And had big...
Well, even on hee-haw, he wasn't nearly as old as he played.
Right. Well, he played an old man from his 20s until he was an old man. So, but he was actually a really good frailer. And some would say, no, that's clawhammer. And as I said, I let the banjo police, argue that one out, because they do that online quite a bit. And I agree with Duke Ellington, who I don't think he was a banjoist at all, but he said, if it sounds good, it is good. He wasn't referring to banjo per se, though. Anyway. So, but anyway, in frailing, you play the bass or the lower notes with your thumb. A lot of hammer-ons, which is a slur. If you're more of a classical musician, it's called a slur. When you play the note and then you hammer your finger down on it. So the style I want to play, with whatever kind of music I might be doing, is stuff I learned from frailing on a banjo, from various like South American styles of playing, like Brazilian and like Colombian, Venezuelan styles of like playing the cuatro, which is a little four-string thing that you strum on in a crazy fashion. And that is, you strum, but you strum down with your fingers up with your thumb. That's a combination of kind of like, and that's something I play in the cuatro, and I don't know exactly how to play cuatro. I've watched people do it online, and some of them seem to be doing the same thing I'm doing, and there's some of the really advanced, like Mexican vihuela players are doing that, all sort of strums like that also, but it's sort of mixing and matching, and I knew a guy from Chile who showed me some things about the folk guitar styles that he was familiar with in Chile, and he wasn't like a scholar of Chilean guitar styles. He's just from Chile, and he was up here studying something else at the university, but I taught him how to read music in the classical style, which is what my education is basically European style, like Spanish style, and Germans and French and stuff. But, so I kind of learned these techniques, and then, so playing the cuatro, and then some of the folk guitar styles, and some Brazilian stuff that I've played through, and then there's the flamenco stuff, where you do that full rasgueo, where you go, you use your fingers, and you go like one at a time, or the rasteado, where you go, it down a little bit. And then if I do a full rasgueo, I want to like strum with my thumb last. I want to start with my index finger, go through 4 fingers, and end up with a thumb. So, and I think it's more powerful. Now, I had a guy who studied flamenco guitar in Spain, American guy, a Jewish guy from New York. It's always like some of your best ethnomusicologists are Jewish guys from New York. I don't know why they study other things, but if I sit up straight, anyway. You know,
Do you want more? You got your headroom?
if I sit up straight, if I slouch, I'm okay. I feel kind of like, oh, there we go, there we go. Anyway, but I was told that was an illegal move to like start with your index fingers wrong. You should start with your 4th finger, and then finishing off with your thumb is wrong. So I said, oh, gee, well, I'll just be a rebel. I'm going to do what I want to do. So but then several years later, I talked to somebody else and said, oh, yeah, some people, well, see, like a lot of people will start with their 4th finger and go like that down there. You know, in Andalusia, in southern Spain, you know, the Romani people that some people call the gypsies. But the next village over, they'll do it starting with the index finger, going through. And as far as finishing up with a thumb, he's seen it done, you know, by genuine Romani people in Andalusia. And, you know, but you know what I say? It's all good. Or Duke Ellington said, if it sounds good, it is good, right? So, so I don't care. And it's maybe an illegal move to be mixing like Appalachian banjo technique, old-time banjo technique, like frailing, with like some sort of like Venezuelan or Colombian cuatro technique, which I'm mixing with flamenco technique from southern Spain, which I'm mixing with my country picking. Another thing I like to do, where I play a bass note, maybe with a roll, with a slur. With my thumb and strum down with 1 finger, and then come up with my ring finger like this, so I get. Now I'm strumming with 1 finger. And I can block 1 string, or block the strings with my fingers, and I can strum with 1 finger. I can do all kinds of strummy things with fingers. And this is what I should have said to that guy on the phone, like 10 years ago, or whenever that was. So I'm reminiscing about a show that we did here. I don't know how long ago. The years fly by. Thing was that this show began in I believe it was July, like late July, early August of 1994. So You know, it's like, it's going to be,
Been at this for 24 years.
right. And if you figure that we turn in about 50 shows a year, you know, because we only miss a week or two. Like,
That's
you know,
over 1,000 shows.
yeah, well, yeah, it was over 1,000 shows, you know, after 20 years. And now we're, you know, like 1,200 or something like that now, probably. We're probably pushing 1,200 Tom's Guitar shows. And you know what our motto is?
We're going to keep doing it till we get it right.
That's right. And so far, we haven't done it right yet. People say, why don't you do a better job on your show? I say, well, then what would be left to do with life, you know? I heard this story about the Afghan rugs, you know, that they would tie, and they'd do this beautiful, like, weaving these rugs by hand and everything like that, and they were much prized and very expensive. Like Persian rugs and Afghan rugs, but Persian rugs, you know. But they'd always make one flaw in it because only Allah is perfect, they say. So I don't know if that's true, is what I heard.
I have also heard that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that.
yeah, so we all three here heard that. I have to ask the other guy in the control room if he's heard it, but we could
So
take,
whether or not it's true, at least it's well known.
that's right. Well, that's well known on Tom's Guitar Show anyway, yeah.
It's kind of like it's all over the internet.
That's right. Well, I haven't heard it for years, but
And I guess there's the Christian version of that. The Gaudi, when he designed his cathedral in Barcelona, the famous can't remember the name of it, but it's the Gaudi Cathedral that's taken decades to get done and not quite done. Apparently, Barcelona is surrounded by mountains or hills, and he designed it so that the top of the steeple was a few feet lower than the highest mountain peak because he did not want to upstage God's creation. So I guess that's a universal sentiment to defer to the divine design or whatever. So.
oh, that's good. So that's our excuse for having such a kind of crummy show and everything, all these things. But oh, well.
We're not crummy, just imperfect.
That's right. Well, yeah. Anyway,
We go down to where my wife's from. We used to go by a funeral home. Well, we still go by the funeral home. It's a different name now, but it used to be the Crummy Funeral Home.
oh, great. There's certain things that don't. Well, there are whole like books of these things now. They have internet websites, you know, where they have things that shouldn't be done. You know that they. I mean, like names, things that don't go together very well. They should have thought of something else. But also, they're names that don't translate well or don't do well in other languages.
Yeah.
The one thing is that the name in Vietnam, very popular, is very common name is Dung. And the first thing you do if your name is Dung and you move to the United States is you change your name to Doug. Because somebody tells you what Dung means, and they say, well, I don't want to have a name like that. So it takes a lot of courage. And I know other people who have, you know, Lipschitz.
Yeah.
Can I say that on Tom's Guitar Show? It's a name.
Yep.
Perfectly, yeah. Like a Polish Jewish name, something like that. You know, so perfectly fine name. Just doesn't do as well in English.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of words like that.
Yeah, and other languages too. Of course, you know. I used to make up these puns or know these puns for French and English. But
In Austria, there's a town that the name of it is, well, in English, it's the sex act.
I see. Yeah. Well, there's a famous composer. We call him Fuchs.
Yeah.
Who not as well known now, but he was in the early 20th century. Great output and everything. But anyway. We can't go into much detail on a family show.
I think that's German for fox.
I think it is, yeah. I keep wanting to make a joke. I'm not going to make any jokes.
Maybe you should tell us what you're going to do this weekend.
Well, the plan is that I'm going to do Tom's Guitar Show Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, I'm not doing. I'm doing the Tuscan Moon. I'm going everywhere I go. It's Tom's Guitar Show because that's no. I'm doing that. I'm playing. My mind was wandering because I was thinking. I think this is the week of Arts Fest. We're going to have a little booth at PATV. I'm going to try to be at it for a while. But But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'll be at the Tuscan Moon in beautiful downtown Kelowna, Iowa. And I start early as possible. Try to start at 5 or by 5:30 on Thursday because they close the kitchen at 9. And I'll try to start by 6 on Friday and Saturday. And with any luck, I'll be out in the patio where the living is good. Even if it was kind of hot, it was nice out there, I think.
And this time of year, they should have reservations?
I think they should have reservations. It's hard to tell. It was kind of a weird weekend because of the Memorial Day and everything. But the week before it was just, you had to wait. They turned people away, okay, because you should have reservations. If you go later, you're probably in very good shape for getting in. But if you try to go at 7 o'clock, you might be turned away. Or at least you might have to sit inside, which is air conditioned. So who wants that, right?
Well, the wrong place if you want to hear the guitar player.
Yeah, but well, it's really nice outside. I mean, the little lights string, the sun goes down, and it's just really nice outside. But anyway, so I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I start closer to 5 on Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, but closer to 6. Let's see when I actually get there. And then, I guess I don't have anything special coming up except for weddings and graduation banquet things. I have these big events, but
Graduation should be pretty well over by now, aren't they?
actually it's the vascular surgeons, and they graduate in the middle of June.
Oh.
So these are people who have done their fellowship for 5 years or something like that, and they've been saving people's legs or whatever, and assisting in liver transplants and things that they do. And so anyway, they have a big banquet and an awards ceremony, so I go there and I play. It'd be at Hansher this year, but it's not open to the public, so I'll just go there and play my tunes and try to act like a gentleman, and they'll have their graduation ceremony, and then as they're having their awards, I'll sneak out the back door after I eat dinner, which will be cold by then, but
it's part of the package.
it's part of the deal. Well, it's a job, man. It's a job. I'm like a mascot for the vascular surgery department, and they get people from all over the world to go there and learn how to do the surgery thing that they do, and they do like heart transplants and stuff at the university. So they have the transplant team and the vascular surgeon team, and they work together for 10 hours or something like that too.
I read that if you take all the veins, arteries, and capillaries out of a human body and tie them end to end, the body would die.
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, the patient would die. Yeah, that'd be a lot of work. Though.
Yeah.
Trying to straighten those out. You ever seen what they look like? They're all like,
Only in special effects.
yeah. But anyway. That's what we're talking about. We're right beneath Uptown Bill's Coffee House.
At the corner of South Dubuque and Lafayette.
That's right. And we're going to do a show on the June 26th up there, Tom's Guitar Show live from there. It will be a kind of going away party, retirement party for young Tom, who, the old Tom passed away some time ago, not long ago, but so young Tom, who, let's face it, he's like 68 years old, but but he's retiring, or at least he's moving on with his life. So we're going to do a send-off party. We'll have a cast of thousands, I hope. We're trying to put together a little band. Mostly what I have right now are women but I haven't been able to get them all to rehearse together. We're going to see what we can do. We're going to try to get some things together, put together a little group. But the 3 of them at least sing, or at least, at least a couple of them sing. So we're going to see if we can't do some harmonies and stuff like that, and try to differentiate the instruments with banjo, guitar, bass, ukulele, and I don't know if I have a mandolin player, which is a problem, but I may. I mean, I don't know if I have one that's ready. So, and if I did, it wouldn't be a female. So, but then I don't like sexism. I think an all women's group sounds kind of sexist. What if we put together a band, but only men? Think that would go over very well?
There probably are some.
Well, I'm sure there are, but if we stipulated we only want
yeah.
male, okay, yeah. So anyway, so we don't want to restrict male musicians. But anyway, I said these people they're taking lessons from me. And there's Donna, of course, who was been doing Tom's guitar shows for many years, and she's usually the lead singer for all these things.
Pretty much a regular on Tom's guitar show.
Yeah, she's
a recurring character.
Recurring character, yeah, recurring character, Donna. And she plays a ukulele, but she also started playing the tenor banjo in the Chicago tuning because it's the same tuning system as the baritone ukulele, which is her primary instrument. But anyway, so we're going to see what we can do about that. I would say that we don't know who will be, or what they're going to do with Uptown Bills after young Tom leaves.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be us running it, actually.
So it will continue, but PATV will operate it.
Yeah, I guess so. It's what it looks like now. So we're going to make a lot of changes around here anyway. And one thing that'd be kind of interesting, because it's sort of a nice resource to have. It's a coffee house, and it's a stage, performing spot, and a place to meet people to meet. And there are not that many places where you can meet free. And we're trying to think of how to keep it and PATV going, because we're going to lose our funding from MediaCom in August. I think we have enough budgeted to make it through the end of the year. But we're scrambling to figure out how we're going to pay for this. So it might be that we're going to be scrambling to pay for this and then Uptown Bills upstairs. But then, you know, we could also make some modifications. I'd like to write a grant or two or three to remodel it upstairs a little bit. And maybe, you know, we have cameras. We set cameras up there, but maybe we can get, they're older cameras. We can get better cameras and better lighting and better sound. And it's one place where people can start performing, you know, people who maybe can't, you know, are ready to get a gig, a normal gig. So they have the open mic every Thursday night, of course, but they also have a lot of acts up there of various kinds. So anyway, we're thinking about that. I guess I'd welcome any, if you have any ideas, you know, you could come to PATV.
You need to write that hit.
Yeah. See if I can make money off of it. Because nowadays you can download it for free, so. I could be a household name, but I'd still be as broke as I am now.
Yeah.
Anyway, but anyway, so yeah, that's our kind of what we're thinking about is how we're going to conduct ourselves in the future. The other thing that could happen is that Uptown Bills and you know, Uptown Bills and
PATV.
PATV. Yeah, I was just thinking my next thing is it could go the way of the Whigs and the Tories in American politics, and you know, this piece of land will still be here. Maybe they could city could take it over, and maybe they could sell it. They could tear it all down and put another parking ramp because they probably need one down here, wouldn't they?
So you better get a screen capture because next year you may not see us anymore.
That's right. It might be all over. Well, think about how I would do Tom's guitar show from home. The vlog or the podcast or whatever. I mean, public access stations have been leaving. You know, they've been going belly up for years. There are very few left. There used to be a lot more. Everybody says, "Well, why do we do that? Everybody's got a camera on their phone." I say, "Yeah, you got the shaky little camera on your phone. Look, we have this wonderful sound studio here. We got look at the wonderful lighting and everything behind me, and the big screen behind me, and my crew, and 3 cameras. We could have 4 if we wanted, you know. But
Yeah. While we last, you can make a show here.
That's right. Well, you could make a show here if you want. We have facilities, training, community, people to work on your show. I have my stellar crew who are doing all the hard work back there. Actually, they don't look like they're working that hard. Oh, I'm sure they're working really hard. So we have all those options and those things. I'd hate to see this go. I've been kind of trying to champion this for years. minor major 7. I like this one. Anyway, minor major 7, let's see. Anyway, sorry. I get these little fascinations with chords, you know. I think for months I've been raving about this chord. I was thinking about this. Well, in Fly Me to the Moon, it says, this is a E7 flat 9. And then it says, sets up this longing, oh please resolve. But then that's ambiguous. When I was looking at Harlem Nocturne, I'm thinking about doing Harlem Nocturne, and I got all kinds of ideas how to, because it's an interesting song. It's kind of a lonesome saxophone thing usually, but there's this chord that comes up. It's a C minor major 7, and I was thinking of, I was playing it, you know, because I play up the neck a lot, you know, because it's like, because I know how, and I don't want anybody to see me play down here like a folk picker. But I also like, because I don't want to say I'm lazy or that I tire easily, but I just don't want to say these things. Whether or not they're true is, never mind. Okay, so this chord, and that's just like, that just like is evocative. It like sets a scene. I want to resolve it to an F minor, maybe a minor 7. Anyway, but see, okay, so if I'm doing this C chord, C major 7, C minor major 7, there's just something about that chord. So if you think of your hard-boiled detective, you know, and in black and white, and the people are wearing the suits and the like gray suits and fedora hats, and there's this like, looks like a crummy old office building and a small office with the Sam Spade or something painted on the glass. The what do you call it? Smoked glass. The glass, you know, the glass.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Light goes through it, but it's been like etched.
Translucent, but
yeah,
there must be a name for that glass.
Yeah, frosted glass or something, or scratch. I don't know. Frosted glass, I don't know. But and then you have this sort of like I'm just musing. This to me that sets up a scene. And of course I can play this chord different places, it doesn't seem the same. You know, think, okay, C minor, 7, well, C minor major 7. It sounds okay. Not like this. I'm sorry, I just think, that's what I think about. I don't hurt anybody, really. I'm a little boring, maybe, but that doesn't really hurt you.
Well, as long as you're making music, you can't do nobody no harm.
I suppose. Well, I don't have violent tendencies, and I don't want to steal anything from anybody. I just don't. I just really wouldn't want to steal anything from anybody, or you know, I'm not in really much of a position to betray people, so I don't have these problems. You know, my problem is that the things that makes me I'm just basically boring because I think about things that other people don't care about very much. You know, I can go on and say, well, that's a pretty song. I say, yeah, but you see, the thing is, the chord theories, I mean, the harmony in there's a dissonance in the middle of the chord, and that makes it a whole thing kind of spooky and mysterious, and sets a dramatic scene for you. The people go, ooh, and they start looking at their watch. And you remember for like...
Not boring. This is an exciting show.
That's right.
You should have seen us last week.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What did we do? You on it a couple times then, too. Anyway, there was a book or something, or a movie or something, No Country for Old Men. But this is a show for old men, I think. That's what it's all about here, Tom's Guitar Show. Anyway,
We would be very happy to have some young viewers, though.
well, we do occasionally. I mean, people do watch the show a little bit. Maybe they should tell me that because they were flipping back and forth in channels.
Yeah.
Of course, young people don't normally have cable TV anymore, but I don't know. So,
They watch TV on their phones.
right. Well, I know one guy is like 13. He watches this on his phone in school and he gets in trouble. They take his phone away from him, but he tells me he's a guitar student of mine. But he tells me
When
these
you
stories.
join us in the bifocal generation, you can't watch things on a phone anymore.
Yeah. I do remember that a long, long time ago, when I had my little guitar shop, I used to watch that show Moonlighting because it was kind of, I liked the writing. It was kind of funny, you know, it was kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And Sybil Shepherd and, what's his name, that became an action hero?
Bruce.
Bruce Willis, yeah. And it was kind of and it wasn't, it was a, you know, it was a bizarre show, and they had this writing, they didn't take themselves very seriously, and they'd stop in the middle and remind us all that they knew they were in a show and that they were, you know, playing this scene or whatever like that. And then they had these bizarre chase scenes and everything. But I used to watch that, and the thing I had was it was less than 2-inch sized black and white TV, like an inch and a half or something like that. And it was in this little thing, and it would run on AA batteries, or you could plug it in, but sometimes if you plugged in the power supply, it would get worse reception. So I had terrible reception in my trailer that I lived in, but in my office or my guitar shop, I'd stay open, you know, and I'd just sit there at my desk, because I had a desk sitting up front, and I'd watch that thing. And if I had to do it just right, sometimes I actually put the antenna under my ear to make more contact, and I go depending on the day. So I'd watch that with headphones on so I could hear it really well on this little screen, so I'd see, you know, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis in a chase scene. There's a little tiny TV set, you know. I wouldn't do that anymore. But,
I had a battery-operated portable TV. I bought it secondhand from a hospital auction. You know, the hospital replaced their old TV. They must have sat on right next to the beds because the screen was like 4 or 5 inches.
right. Well, I had a 4-inch color TV for a little while that I got somewhere cheap. I think I actually gave it away here. They were using it for a while in there as a
Monitor.
as a monitor, yeah, but it didn't, you know, it's analog and everything, and it had an antenna, and you could run on D cells. And there was a time when I used to watch that sometimes, and I would just, once again, I got better reception if I did it upstairs in my house, because I said I didn't have cable. I couldn't get cable. I shouldn't say that when I'm a cable. But anyway, so if I use a power supply, it would get worse reception. So I would put the batteries in. I got rechargeable NiCad batteries. And then if I wanted to watch something on the TV, you know, I put out the rabbit ear, and I'd have it. And if I put it right there, you know, I could see it. Well, it looked pretty big if it's right in front of my face. But anyway, so I'm not in a rush to. Actually, I do watch my iPod. So I have an iPod. But without Wi-Fi, I'm lost now. We have an Alexa, but now it's unplugged in the basement because my wife read a story about how Alexa recorded somebody's kitchen conversations or something, and then
And sent it to somebody.
sent it to all their contacts. And so she immediately took Alexa down and put it in the basement, unplugged. Right
Yeah,
there,
when
huh?
we were on the road this year, my daughter gave my wife one, so she has it now.
I see.
She used it for a timer mostly.
For the time, what?
She used it for a timer. She said, Alexa, send a 15-minute timer.
Oh,
And then 15 minutes later, she plays some musical notes to let you know 15 minutes is up.
I see. Huh. We got the kind that you wind it up and it goes tick, tick, tick. Well, the other thing is, Alexa, I'd always ask it what the temperature was.
Yeah, it knows the outdoor temperature, so yes, my wife does that too.
Right, and also it could play the radio. So so the one thing I listen to on the radio, actually online now, but it's Classical Guitar Live, which I really recommend. It's on KSUI, a local public radio classical station, 91.6. Sundays at 6 p.m. It's an hour-long show, and it's about classical guitar. They have, maybe a couple of interviews, but mostly they just have classical guitar music of different kinds. And I see all kinds of interesting things. And I also hear guitar players are a lot better than I am.
Every time I ask it to play a song, it says, "That is not available. You can buy it from Amazon."
Right. Well, Laura's been doing Amazon since the beginning, so I don't know. We have this library. You can play a lot of things. We can ask it to play the Julian Bream, so the classical guitarist, English classical guitarist. So they play the Julian Bream channel. So they play a lot of Julian Bream, but other similar things. And but now we can't do that anymore. The other thing is that when we go, because we're home a lot, and there are certain. We're rarely, it's rare that we're both gone. And so the darn pussycat, Attila, she's not used to being home alone. So we simply, here comes Caroline, we're gonna have a meeting, oh, sorry. So we play play like music for cats, or music for pets, and it's this interesting kind of dreamy music with trickling water fountains and wind chimes and things, and pretty like flute music and stuff. And actually the cat really seems to like it. And she also likes the classical station, the classical radio station. And now we don't have the Alexa. When we're both gone, we have to think of something else because, well, one thing you don't want is an unhappy animal to go home to, you see. So, because you have to, Oh, the show's almost over.
We left ours over the weekend. When we got back, they're awful clingy when we've been gone for a day or two.
Uh-huh. Never sit alone. Hey, I'll be back next week. Check me out this weekend at the Tuscan Moon in beautiful downtown Cologne. Make a reservation. Fine dining, white tablecloths, and friendly staff.
And a resident guitar picker.
Yeah, and I'll even shave, and I won't tell any jokes or anything like that. I'm just gonna play it.